What's up guys? Welcome to AnimeKouhai. If you'd like to help me out, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel.
It's a lethal attack if you don't know what's coming because each wave does nothing on its own and is therefore easily missed. Velzard also took a direct hit from Stormblast. It gave me relief to see Veldora act as I had hoped. However, just as I thought he had the situation under control, things started to move quickly and in the completely opposite direction. In the middle of the battle, an airship suddenly appeared. Someone in a distinct uniform from the others stood at its bow. It was Lieutenant Kondo. I hastily shifted my focus to the first screen. The people who should have been there, Kondo and his crew, weren't there. The minute Velzard cancelled out of parallel existence, the ritual was over. Evidently, I was preoccupied with all of this and missed it.
Report. Forbidden curse. Dead birthday was finished around a minute ago.
Kondo arrived at the scene of the battle between Veldora and Velzard in under 1 minute. My mind couldn't get rid of the premonitions. The fact that I didn't know what he had in mind caused me to feel a flash of unwarranted frustration. Then another guy, a man who resembled the person sitting in front of me right now, appeared on the airship's bow. Masayuki? Ah, but no. A parallel existence? When I finally understood, it was already too late. The events that followed took place in an instant. Kondo held the gun in his right hand and fired at Veldora. A pistol round couldn't possibly have much of an impact on a true dragon. But as soon as I had that notion, a bullet shot into him at an incredible rate of speed, much faster than the speed of sound, even getting close to sub-light speed. Since there was no exit wound, the bullet remained inside of him until its entire evil potential manifested. He would typically recover from something like this right away, but that extra second proved fatal. Veldora writhed in misery. The Rudra on-screen extended a hand to him.
Let me share a secret with you. Regalia Dominion is the name for that. It is a ruthless force that dominates everything with free will. Even a true dragon cannot evade its influence.
In front of me, a Rudra got up. He was leaving the room, as though his business was concluded.
Wait, whoa.
I did indeed make a promise, wasn't that right? I'm afraid I've stopped being interested in you, but if you work for me, I'll open up a whole new world for you.
Rudra is no longer interested in me, and I suppose that this Rudra was a fake created by Velzard's parallel existence all along. Even if I had defeated him in this chamber, which had the same consciousness as the one on the airship, it would not have mattered. I spent the entire time being rolled around in Rudra's palm. It was a complete defeat for me.
Do not underestimate Veldora.
I murmured that even though I now see that I was simply being a sore loser. But Rudra was no longer holding back.
He's definitely a true dragon, isn't he? He was much harder to control than I had anticipated, but now I have complete control over him.
And he was correct. Soon after, I experienced a chest pain so severe that not even cancel pain could make it go away. It was as if someone was attempting to rip a soul out of my body. I was astonished to learn the cause of the pain. What? You're claiming that Veldora was taken from me? Veldora? From me?
You asshole.
I made an attempt to swing at Rudra at the fastest possible pace. He didn't try to avoid it. He wasn't required to. In vain, my fist whirled through the air. He was erasing this Rudra because he no longer needed it.
That's your response, then? Quite well. I regret not being able to include you on my team because I would have loved to. I guess my power isn't quite as broad as I thought it was. It will be challenging to exercise any more control at this time.
What exactly are you?
But I believe this has been quite productive, so I'll give you some more time to consider it. Because you've been imprisoned inside of this dream fortress ever since I called you over to it, I have faith that you'll have the time to do so. Let's hope you choose to leave this area voluntarily.
Rudra then vanished after that. The remaining guards there transported themselves out at his order. Due to the overwhelming sense of loss and hatred I was experiencing, I couldn't force myself to give chase.
You're an asshole.
All of this was the result of my negligence. I had intended to catch him off guard, but instead, I walked straight into his trap. They had planned an evasive deception to take advantage of the fact that I had thought to keep a careful eye on Laplace all along. I didn't need Rudra to explain it to me in detail because I was aware of it as soon as I was called over here. We were currently trapped inside a solitary spatial distortion, and leaving would be a difficult task. But I'm certain that I can handle anything, which is perhaps what made me irresponsible without recognizing it. Despite my best efforts, my adversary was only one step ahead of me. This is a war, and you don't always win in conflicts. I am aware of that. You are not required to tell me.
Damn it.
I yelled and struck my cheek. Despite the absence of agony, it merely made my heart's shredding pain more obvious.
Sir Rimuru, please stop.
My ears didn't pick up Xian's words. I continued to do it. Xian then came up behind me and stopped me after the fourth shot. Benimaru, Soe, and even Diablo came over to hold me down in addition to her.
I apologize. I had simply lost track of myself. I am aware that I've become angry too quickly. Thank you, guys. I've regained my composure.
That was untrue. The rage surged into my head repeatedly. Even so, I got to my feet while attempting to slow my racing mind. I gave it my all when I punched myself in the face, but nothing happened. Raphael was protecting me against myself before Xian, Benimaru, or anybody else could respond. I was once again reminded of how much I was being protected by everyone. This is why, more than ever, I felt incapable of forgiving myself. As though trying to make up for the sense of loss, my wrath continued to overflow the boundaries around my heart. Where should I even try to direct all of this rage? No. Now I was aware. It was a war. You should not slow down at this time. So why don't I fight them with all of my might? Was I just letting my rage out here? Maybe. So what, then? The Empire made me angry. I would give it to them if that's what they wanted. A blessing in the name of devastation. They've offended me, and in my rage, I'm prepared to release the strength I've been holding back continually.
Volume 15, Prologue. Scorch Dragon vs. Storm Dragon, Part 1.
The day could not have gone any worse for Veldora. It was a grassy, unoccupied space. Because the city was secluded in the labyrinth and well prepared for the Imperial attack, the beauty coming in from the sky above stood out so dramatically against this background.
Ah, my sister.
Veldora murmured thoughtlessly. His voice was weak and lacked power. The scene was unfathomable to people who were familiar with Veldora's regular behavior.
Is it possible that
Stuttered Cherries.
that this is Lady Velgrund, the sister I've heard rumors about?
In fact, you're right. She's my sister, Velgrund the Flame Dragon, one of the supreme true dragons.
Upon hearing this, everyone in the control center immediately took action. All those within hearing distance were warned to be extremely vigilant against the enemy on the outside as an emergency alarm rang out throughout the labyrinth.
Whoa, Master, Rimuru isn't even present. What shall we do?
Ramirez was already frightened. In normal circumstances, she wasn't exactly someone you could count on. At the moment, all she could do was yell and go on. She was a valuable resource in a lab setting, but in a fight, she had almost no place. The Dryads working under Trainee's sisters, who were in charge of running the labyrinth, and Ramirez were strong allies who worked together to ensure that everything remained in working order. She remained in charge of the labyrinth despite turning down a position with the 10 dungeon marvels. A significant portion of the marvels, those individuals who would be most needed at this time, were, however, in the midst of an evolutionary sleep. Their previous commander Beretta had the vital responsibility of watching over Ramirez.
It doesn't seem like she'll be too nice to us. We need to find a way to stop her in the labyrinth.
While Trainee and the others surveyed the situation throughout the labyrinth, Beretta maintained vigilance. Only the 4 dragon lords were awake and available right now out of the 10 dungeon marvels. Gadra was awake as well, but he had already been dispatched with the demon Colossus to aid the armed nation of Dwargon. They weren't exactly prepared for Velgrund, but even with a smaller force, they should be able to buy some time if they made full advantage of the perfect, faultless fortress that was the labyrinth. At least, Beretta thought so. He then put out the suggestion, and Veldora nodded in accord.
I have no idea why she is here, but if she came by herself, I can only laugh at her. We have nothing to fear while we're all here together.
He smiled confidently, but you could tell that he was straining. He was terrified. Veldora and Velzard, his elder sister, had engaged in a difficult battle just a few days prior, and Veldora's second eldest sister, Velgrund, was now in front of him. Additionally, she was conducting an invasion of the Jura Tempest Federation's capital, Rimuru, on her own. Veldora found this to be completely ludicrous, and his mind was now racing as he anxiously searched for a solution. He was willing to accept Beretta's offer because of this. But at that point,
"Come out for me, Veldora, and be a good boy, okay?"
Right there on the display, Velgrund spoke to him aloud. Oddly enough, even her eyes were glued to the screen, staring straight at Veldora, and her voice rang in his ears.
Sir Veldora?
I'm not frightened, Cherries. It's a trap. I'll get screwed up if I go out there carelessly.
Yes.
It didn't bother Veldora to sound so pitiful. It was perplexing for Cherries.
Huh? If her target is my master, then it has nothing to do with us, right?
Ramirez was cut off in mid-sentence by Veldora's hand covering her mouth as she flamboyantly attempted to dodge the situation. She was now involved in this, whether she wanted to be or not. The labyrinth staff chose to stand their ground as a result, although,
"You're not going outside, are you?" You were always a little sluggish to react, weren't you? Okay, though. I'll issue you one gentle warning in that instance.
Velgrind's words were not made clear by the visual alone, but everyone in the room realized that she was changing everything quickly, and Veldora knew full well that she was ready to do something since he was still hearing her voice in his head. But, it's all right. The extraordinary materials used to construct Ramirez's labyrinth can also turn off dimensions. It is so thick that not even I could get through it, and as long as we are inside, not even my sister will be able to touch us. He was correct. They would continue to be protected from Velgrind as long as they remained in the labyrinth. Ramirez could repair it more quickly than she could destroy it, however she might be able to smash her way down 1 or 2 floors. With Veldora supplying all power, it should be possible to keep Velgrind at a safe distance.
Remain calm. No enemy can stand a chance when you and I team together.
Veldora tried to soothe Ramirez, but he couldn't continue his speech. He had seen Velgrind pulling out a spear of pure red color on the screen.
Master, there is some very horrible news. Even Mazecraft may not be able to stop that.
I don't need to be reminded, Veldora reasoned.
I'm aware of that. Brace yourselves for impact.
Nobody questioned Veldora's assertions, instead, they all took a defensive stance. The labyrinth was shaken by a powerful shockwave just a short while thereafter.
Oh, no way. Damage verified all the way to floor 50. Upper levels are almost completely damaged.
Damage reports were being produced in a rush by Alpha, Beta, and the rest of the personnel. The supposed safety of the labyrinth was effectively disproven at that point. Then, just as Veldora was frantically trying to figure out what to do next, Rimuru sent him a thought communication.
Hey, how are things going?
The happy voice infuriated him greatly.
You idiot. Forget about making casual introductions right now. It's kind of crazy in here, I guess. It's my sister. I'm being pursued by my sister. She is now outside the labyrinth, but if things continue as they are, she will soon storm inside.
Veldora awaited the response. Rimuru. Yes, Rimuru could undoubtedly take action in this situation. However, the concerned response was received instead.
You'll be alright?
It immediately caused Veldora to grasp reality. Rimuru was currently under similar stress. If he wasn't, he would return soon away, and since there was no indication of that, it would be foolish to wait any longer for him. And perhaps for that reason, Veldora felt the earlier false hope going away. He would have to go out alone if he couldn't rely on Rimuru.
Hey anime fans! Episode 3 of Solo Leveling is now live on Anime Fan Narrations. Check it out in the link below and join the adventure. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more updates.
That's it for this video, guys. Thank you for always watching my videos and supporting my channel. Shout out to the new members of AnimeKouhai supporters: Luca Gaming WTF, William Locke, Jordan Mersha, Jay Magsino, Recrel17, Bismarck Munoz, Arion Booker, Sagar Kotecha, Jerry Sladek, Andre Hamilton. Thank you so much for helping out. I'll see you guys in the next video.